Story recapped here. Today I'm going to explain an adventure and sci-fi movie called Slashback. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take care. In the icy islands of the Arctic Circle, a man teaches his daughter the basics of hunting. He shows her how to aim a gun, and the little girl eagerly follows his instructions. 6 years later, a geologist explores the terrain to get snow samples for his research. As he prepares to leave, he notices something moving under the snow, so he goes to inspect it. To his surprise, he sees a tentacle, so he crawls closer to get a better look. Suddenly, the tentacle pulls his head into the snow, so he tries to free himself, but his face explodes, spilling blood onto the white snow. In the remote village of Pangnirtung, Micah is invited to meet up at the playground, so she gets ready and refuses her father, Joby, when he asks for her help at the house. At the playground, Oki tries to convince Micah's sister Ayu to give her money to buy a phone, which she promises to share with her. Ayu agrees, but Jessie sees this and commands Oki to return the money. Instead, Oki dashes off on her bike, so Jessie chases after her. Not long after, Micah and her other friend Lena join Jessie in stopping their mischievous friend. They cruise through their little town and soon catch up to Oki, forcing her to return the money. As they leave, they don't notice a beam of light flashing in the distance. Later, the girls hang out when Lena spots Micah's father selling meat to the passers-by. Embarrassed by this, Micah asks her friends to go on a boat ride. Lena refuses because they're not allowed to, but the others convince her, so they all leave. Micah goes home to get her father's gun and keys to their boat, overhearing the news about the missing geologist on TV. Soon, Micah prepares to leave with her friends, but Ayu catches them and wants to tag along, so Micah bribes her into staying. Before they can go, a fisherman named Willie Isaac asks if Joby knows what they're doing, and the girls lie and say yes. As the girls ride away, Jessie notices some birds circling the town as if it's a garbage dump. Micah comments that she likes seeing their town get smaller, hoping to drive far enough until it disappears. Not long after, they reach a cabin on another side of the island. As they set up a bonfire, Oki tells a rumor about a boy who went missing last spring. According to a friend, the fisherman saw a gray head with long black hair emerging from the fog and dragging the boy into the water. Lena recognizes the monster in the story as a Kalupalip, but Micah mocks such local myths. Elsewhere, Ayu rides her bike around the island to catch up with the other girls. Meanwhile, the girls know that everyone's parents will attend the solstice dance tonight. Lena worries that her dad might get drunk since he's scary when he's drunk, so Micah comments that everything in their town is awful. Oki argues that Pang is awesome, but Micah still disagrees and longs to move to Winnipeg when she's older. Later on, Micah decides to go shooting with her father's gun. However, she hesitates to do it, so Oki mocks her. Just then, Lena spots a polar bear in the distance, and Micah gets fascinated by it. However, the gun suddenly blasts as Oki shoots the bear dead. Finally, Ayu appears, proud that she found him. However, the girls hear a bellowing cry in the distance. The angered bear crawls towards Ayu like it's possessed, but the little girl is frozen in fear. Oki tries to reload the gun but struggles too, so Micah pushes her aside and reloads the gun herself. The bear has already tackled Ayu and goes on top of her until Micah shoots it. Immediately, Micah runs to her sister, who is now covered in black blood. Panicked, she helps her sister up and the girls leave. As they flee, a tentacle bursts out of the bear's eye. On the boat, the girls are quiet until Ayu tries to wash off the blood from her jacket, but it won't come off. Oki brings up how odd that the bear's blood was black, and it moved weirdly. They reach the docks and retrieve their bikes, but Ayu realizes that her bike is still on the other side of the island. Upon returning to town, the girls tell the other kids about the bear, making everyone curious. Oki suggests that it was an Ihara, a shape-shifting creature that takes children. However, Micah says that it's just Enoch nonsense, and only dumb Enoch people believe in it. This triggers Oki, so she mocks Micah by telling her to ask her dad about it, who is supposed to be the Great Hunter. Micah gets angry and dares Oki to hunt the creature again since she knows so much about it. Just then, a police officer named Lefebvre appears, accusing the kids of smoking. He scolds the boy named Thomasy for not bringing a helmet while driving a Honda. However, Officer Peters arrives and handles the situation by gently telling the kids not to cause trouble again. After this, Thomasy invites Micah to his party that night. She hesitates to go by herself because Jessie has a crush on him. Instead, she asks if she could bring the other girls, and Thomasy agrees. At the docks, Willie's Uki's foot gets snagged on a rope while carrying a fishing net. Before he could untangle himself, something pulls the rope and drags him into the water. Upon arriving home, their mother scolds Micah for not helping her father. She ends up having to watch over their little brothers while Ayu hides her bloody jacket. Meanwhile, Lena's mother is pissed that she's home late, so she checks her phone and discovers that she went to the other side of the island. Because of this, Lena gets grounded. Unbeknownst to the other girls, Uki returns to where they killed the bear, but only finds Ayu's bike. That night, Lena's parents are off to the dance, so Jesse sneaks in to take Lena to the party. After bribing Alashua, Lena's younger sister, she finally goes. Later, they pick up Micah, leaving Alashua with Ayu and their younger siblings. The girls then go to Uki's house, only to discover that she's gone. Meanwhile, Uki searches for the bear and finds an odd-looking reindeer dragging Willie's corpse instead. She follows the reindeer and discovers a glowing spaceship with tentacles. She sees the bear from earlier there and watches as the tentacles begin sucking the blood out of the man's body. Uki is about to leave when an Arctic fox attacks her. Tentacles sprout from the fox's eyes and mouth, relentlessly trying to reach her face. But she manages to kill the animal with a small knife. After this, she runs for her life. Back in Pang, the girls proceed to Thomasy's party, but they immediately feel out of place. Thomasy tries to converse with Micah, but she ends up accidentally dissing the Enoch painting that Thomasy's mother made. Suddenly, Oki barges in, claiming that they are hunter aliens in Pang. While Oki explains her story, Lefebvre enjoys a smoke at a garage but gets attacked by the polar bear. The tentacles enter his body and it starts to control him. At the party, Oki continues her crazy story about the alien, which most of the kids at the party find ridiculous. Embarrassed by her friend, Micah tells her to shut up and accuses Oki of being desperate for attention since she has no dad. Her granny is always drunk and her mom always goes out with a new guy. This makes the party awkwardly quiet, with Jesse getting worried for Oki. The argument is interrupted when Lefebvre enters the house looking like a stuffed puppet. They back away as they see he has no eyes and walks weirdly. He corners Uki and raises his hand where a tentacle comes out. While the other kids run out of the house, Lefebvre pursues Oki, so she hurriedly hides in a room upstairs. Still, Lefebvre chases her while walking like a crab. He breaks down the bedroom door, so Oki is left with no choice but to jump out the window. Just then, Micah enters the room and slashes Lefebvre's ankle, causing him to fall. Meanwhile, Oki hides in the boat parked outside and locks herself in. Hearing thumps all around her, the door suddenly rattles, so Oki holds onto it until Micah calls out to her, revealing that the monster ran away. With the coast clear, Micah and Oki regroup with the other kids. Finally, they believe her story and she claims that the aliens might be pursuing her because she killed the little one. Micah thinks they knew to follow Oki because she had black blood on her shirt, which Micah also got on her hands. Thomasy suggests washing the blood off, but Micah explains that it stains. With this, she remembers Ayu, so she hurriedly runs to her house along with the other girls. At their house, the kids watch TV when Ayu goes to her room to get a snack. She returns to the living room and finds an emaciated Willie waiting for her. Ayu freezes in fear, but as a tentacle is about to touch her, Micah pulls her to safety. Micah urges everyone to run to a nearby crate while she distracts the creature. Once everyone else is out, Micah locks herself in her bedroom and sneaks out through the window. She dashes through the streets, but Willie quickly chases her. After a while of running, Willie's body weakens and contorts, unable to stand properly. This allows Micah to reach the crate, but Lefebvre suddenly appears to join the chase. She rushes inside with the others and locks the door. The kids listen as the men try to destroy the crate, jumping at every sound. Suddenly, everything falls quiet, and Micah realizes that they're just waiting outside. Desperate, the girls try to call their parents, but none of them answer as they're too busy with the dance. Hoping to get Peters to help, Jesse calls the police department and is able to tell the operator where they are, but the call gets cut off. With no choice but to wait things out, Jesse and Lena set up a makeshift fort to keep the younger kids calm. While watching the aliens outside, Micah points out how Willie suddenly stopped while chasing her to do that weird contorted walk. However, Uki starts feeling guilty about bringing the aliens into town by killing one of them. Micah comforts her, saying it's her fault because she dared Uki to return there. With the place growing tense, Jesse and Lena joke around with the kids until something bangs the crate. Micah sees Peter's car outside and her scream confirms that she's out there. Suddenly, Peter slams on the crate door, clearly in danger danger, but she tells the kids not to come out. She screams in agony while Willie drags her away. With Peters as their last hope of getting rescued, the girls realize that they're now trapped. Meanwhile, the adults continue their party. However, Joby doesn't seem to enjoy it. At the crate, Micah decides to take care of things, claiming responsibility for bringing the aliens. However, Jesse says it doesn't matter whose fault it is, they just have to do something. Before anything else, they analyze their prey. Jesse suggests calling the creatures skins, and Uki adds that the skins have tentacles with teeth that they use to suck up blood. Hearing this, Micah theorizes that the skins need another body to move and grow weak when they don't have enough blood, like what happened to Willie earlier. Jesse comments that she knows a lot about creatures, so Micah explains that her dad taught her to hunt. They must understand the prey first. Determined to hunt the skins, the girls tell Lena about the plan. However, she doesn't have the courage to join them, though she agrees to look after the kids instead. Before going, Micah uses an antenna as a weapon, then takes Uki's blood-stained jacket and sprays the girls with perfume to mask the smell of the alien blood. Finally, Uki attracts Lefebvre with a jacket, and when he comes close to the door, Micah stabs his eye with the antenna. This buys them time to escape and go to Micah's house. There, they gear up to hunt the skins. Before they leave, Jesse insists that they should draw some Enoch symbols on their faces to mark themselves as warriors. They return to the crate, but only to find the skin's blood trail. While following it, Jesse brings up Micah carrying her perfume around, accusing her of liking Thomasy too. Micah defends that she tried to get Jesse to talk to him, but she went quiet. Eventually, the girls let go of the petty fight to focus on the mission. Soon, they follow the trail to a house at the edge of Pang, where they hear ominous groans. Jesse climbs over the house to prepare a net, only to find a dog on the side of the house. Suddenly, Lefebvre pulls Jesse off the roof and tangles her in the net with him. With her friend too close to the monster, Uki takes the risk and chops Lefebvre, saving Jesse. After killing two aliens, Uki gains confidence. Micah, however, is more focused on trapping Willie, plotting to use herself as bait. Uki protests, saying that she should be the bait. Micah argues that no one is challenging her, but Uki insists anyway. Left with no choice, Micah agrees and she apologizes for everything she said to Uki earlier. Suddenly, Thomasy finds them and apologizes for not helping them earlier. To make up for it, he allows the girls to use his Honda for their next plan. Moments later, Micah waits atop a crate while Uki is on the streets as the bait. Jesse and Thomasy hide when he asks her if Micah likes him. This breaks Jesse's heart, but she says that Micah probably does. When Willie doesn't appear after a while, Uki takes out Lefebvre's severed head from her backpack. Curious, she checks what's under the skin and exclaims in disgust. Still, she keeps joking around with the head, not noticing Willie behind her. Finally, Micah tells her to turn around, so Uki teases Willie until his foot lands on a rope attached to Thomasy's Honda, allowing him to drag the alien away. However, Willie easily cuts it with his tentacles and goes after Uki again. Micah tries to shoot Willie, but the bullets don't stop him. Uki crawls under a house with Willie following her. However, the exit hole is too narrow and Uki struggles to escape. Because of this, Willie catches up to her and releases his tentacle to suck her blood. While the others pull Uki out, Micah tries to stuff her rifle into the hole to shoot the alien, but he grabs the weapon. Finally, they free Uki, but she loses consciousness due to blood loss. Micah screams at Uki to wake up, and thankfully she does. Weakly, Uki tells Micah to go after Willie, telling her that if she lets him get away, she wouldn't have gotten her blood sucked for nothing. This convinces Micah to leave Uki to Thomasy and resume the mission with Jesse. While following the alien's blood trail, Jesse reveals that Thomasy likes Micah and assures her that she's okay with it. Before Micah comments about it, they see blood outside her house. They both enter the house and find Joby by the table, who's unaware of the situation. Suddenly, Willie dives in to attack him. Micah tries to stop him, but she gets thrown into a corner and loses consciousness. Micah dreams about the time when her father showed her her great-grandfather's blade. He told her that her great-grandfather was the best hunter in Pang, and one day she'll inherit his blade. Micah wakes up and finds herself stuck under a bookshelf. In the corner, Willie pins Joby down, so she screams at him to fight back. More alien tentacles infiltrate their house while Jesse helps Micah free. Finally, Joby bites off a tentacle around his hand, freeing his hand to grab a blade and cut off Willie's face. Micah is set free and quickly darts a harpoon at Willie. Joby then tosses her great-grandfather's blade, which she uses to slice off Willie's head, finally killing him. Elsewhere, the alien spaceship shoots a beam into the sky. Suddenly, all the tentacles wither and die. With this, Jesse declares that no one messes with the girls from Pang. At the crate, Lena browses on her phone while Ayu and Elishua talk. The door suddenly groans as someone tries to open it, so Ayu volunteers to check it out. However, Lena steps up to protect the kids. She slowly walks to the door and peeks in, thankful that the others have returned. As the girls reunite, they witness the beam of light in the sky which suddenly speeds away. Seeing this, they celebrate their victory. 1 month later, people line up for Joby's newly opened restaurant where Micah proudly helps him serve country food. A news reporter arrives, much to Micah's annoyance. The reporter asks if she's the girl who fought the aliens, but Micah claims that she's only a hunter. Uki overhears their conversation and claims that she saved Pang, so the reporter interviews her instead. Micah watches them walk away with a smile, finally appreciating life in their small village.
Subscribe to watch more videos like this. Turn on notifications. And leave a like, it really helps the channel out. Thank you for watching.